I noticed that when Eloise was speaking and I started to feel myself, then I felt very afraid and realised all this projections that I got, like, what are you crying for? You've got no reason to cry, shut up, and all of those things. There's nothing happening. It's not valid for you to cry, and all those judgments about me crying.
Yeah.
So I feel like I need to feel that layer first.
Yes.
That sort of terror of that I've got nothing to cry about.
Yeah, these are.
And it's all denial that anything happened.
Yeah, these are the beliefs and methods that we use to deny emotion. Right. So, if this wasn't fear we were talking about, it was some other emotion. Acknowledge we have the emotion. Look at the beliefs and methods you use to avoid the experience of the emotion. All right? And then remember that it's an act of love towards yourself to feel your own emotions. So what I'm writing here applies not only to terror, but every single emotion you could ever experience. This is the process we need to go through for every single emotion. So in your case, you weren't allowed to cry. So feel about the methods that we use to shut you down, and now that you use to shut yourself down, right, to avoid crying.
Yeah, like the denial that was projected at me that there's nothing happened. There's nothing. Like, what are you crying about?
Yeah,
nothing.
Nothing to cry about.
Nothing's been done. What's wrong?
Yeah, I'll give you something to cry about if you keep crying. Those kind of projections are all part of the reasons why you avoid the experience now.
Yeah, so that remembering that it's an act of love to yourself, that just struck me so powerfully. Thank you.
Yeah. When you truly feel that it's an act of love towards yourself, you will have very little resistance to your own emotion. So all of us who feel stuck at different times to our own emotion, most of the time we're stuck because we don't believe that. We believe it's an act of love to avoid the emotion. We believe the complete opposite. We believe that it's loving to ourselves to avoid our terror. It's loving to ourselves to avoid our grief. And this is why most people spend a lot of their life avoiding all of their emotion. Does that make sense? And it's very important we understand this, that this love of self actually is partly and a lot about feeling yourself. You've got to feel yourself to love yourself. And that means you need to feel your own emotion to love yourself. And every time you avoid feeling your own emotion, you're not loving yourself. And it doesn't matter what the emotion is, whether it's terror, shame, happiness, joy, sexual pleasure, sexual shame. It doesn't matter which direction the emotion is, whether it's what we view as a positive emotion or as a negative emotion. If it's in us, we need to feel it. If we don't feel it, then we're not loving ourselves.